This morning, we are moving full speed ahead with all that's happening in cricket. This morning, I have the privilege of speaking with Mr. Kerwin John, who is joining me virtually this morning. Good morning and welcome. Mr. John is the president of the Tobago Cricket Association. This morning, you are going to let us know everything that's happening on the cricket front. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning, Ms. Felix, and thanks for having me.
Excellent. So, Tobago cricket season is open, and we have heard of the suspension of Joshua James. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, so Joshua's situation is an unfortunate situation, but I mean, none that cannot be remedied. Let me say that I have been in contact with Joshua. Joshua is doing well mentally and otherwise. He is already in remedial work with the Trinidad and Tobago head coach, Riyad Emrit, to analyze his situation and get him back up and running. So the job have already been started. It should not be long until Joshua is cleared to be able to bowl again.
Excellent. And there are some persons who may be completely unaware of the situation with the young man, Joshua James. So can you give us a bit of an overview of the situation that has unfolded and what has led us to where we are right now?
All right, so bowling. Bowling is an action where you run in and you run your arm to bowl the ball. Now, the ICC have since implemented rule where your elbow can be bent, but it cannot be bent more than 17 degrees. In this case, apparently, what was reported by the on-field umpires in that tournament that is taking place, the West Indies Breakout League, that is currently taking place at the Brian Lara Stadium. Apparently, video footage would have shown that Joshua may be bending a little more than the stipulated amount of bending that he can do. So they reported the matter. What would normally happen then is that they would look at video footage of his action. What I could tell you, most likely, and in Joshua's case, it would not be all the deliveries. Most likely what would happen in this situation is that maybe the extra effort a bowler might put out to bowl a particular ball in terms of variation or extra pace could cause that problem. So they have already analyzed what the problem is. So it's just for him to work on it. It should not be a big issue.
Right, and there are persons asking, how did he get so far using this technique? Is it that it would have gone unnoticed? Was his coaches not paying attention? Tell us a bit about that.
Well, I mean, Joshua grew up in Tobago, and I have always looked at Joshua because he's always obviously our standout player in Tobago, and I could not have seen with the naked eye anything that would have created an issue. I don't think the coach or anyone saw it. In our estimation, Joshua had a flawless technique all the time. So I think this might be something that crept in very recently. So I don't think in terms of blaming the coaches for him to reach where he reached with this action would be fair. I think it's something that recently occurred.
Okay. And so what does this say for coaches moving forward and how cricket is played in Tobago, especially among the youth, and keeping an eye on technique, knowing that it is possible for them to move into bigger leagues, and move ahead with certain techniques that may not be in favor of their own growth and progress throughout the sport?
Well, coaches always should know that they have to stay in front of the game. They have to be ahead of the game in terms of dealing with these youngsters and even senior players as well. In terms of discipline, their career about on and off the field, their cricketing career is always paramount. So what you do in this aspect is that you try to look at anything that would create an issue going forward. So it could be their action, it could be the way in which they speak. You want them to be able to articulate properly if it is that they have been, they are faced with an interview and stuff like that. So coaches normally would try to have a rounded player and keep a keen eye, especially in situations like these where you have players who look like they might be moving on to a higher level. You need to try to, as best as possible, to try to see if you could get them as flawless as possible.
Excellent. And tell us about some of the other activities that are happening surrounding cricket right now.
Well, cricket is booming in Tobago. We started off since in February, early February. We had the Earl Arthur tournament, which is going on, which have to be suspended because of lack of facilities. We have the 2 days tournament, which is coming to its end. I think we only have like 2 games outstanding. We had the Dream 11 tournament that took place within the month of March to April. We have the 40 overs coming up, and we have the T20. And we have great anticipation for I think it's the fourth edition of the Chief Secretary T10 Blast, which should be played in June. So we have a lot of cricket. Cricket is exciting, cricket is booming. I mean, there would always be room for improvement in anything you do, but I must say cricket is doing well on the island.
Right. And even as it pertains to those improvements that you're talking about, what type of conversations are you having with the policymakers to ensure that the investment is being made in cricket and the facilities are available? You mentioned that during that Earl Arthur cricket tournament that it had to be cut short because of lack of facilities. Since then, what has been done and what is the conversation like?
I was hoping to dive out from that, but I mean, I see you bowl me a bumper here by getting straight to the point with that. Yes, we constantly try to have discussions with the policymakers. We try to get our point across because one of the things that you would not want is for we to be thinking 100 speed ahead, and then the policymakers who are in charge of getting things ready for us, they are thinking at 50. That could create a hindrance. So we try our best to have conversations. Conversations have been happening. I mean, I've long been clamoring for a cricket stadium in Tobago. It hurts me that up to this day that we cannot have a dedicated cricket facility in Tobago. I mean, and I've been clamoring for this since 2014 up until this day. I mean, cricket is one of the fastest growing sport on the island and in the world. It is an avenue for youngsters, for people to play them with themselves out of poverty. 1 or 2 T20 contract makes you a millionaire. I mean, when you look at all the sports around the world, there is nothing that have a clear path to success and to make yourself, enrich as cricket. So sometimes I wonder why we take so long. But infrastructure-wise, we are left. We are behind where that is concerned. We need some serious work with that. So I hope the authorities that be would get on board and we would get this right. As I said, the biggest thing would be getting facilities ready for cricket, getting an international dedicated cricket facility. I would love to see those things.
Excellent. And as it pertains to the potential of the young Tobago cricketers, tell us why it's so important for this investment to be made. What type of talent are you seeing when you go out there? And what, outside of the facilities being lacking, what type of guidance and financial investment is needed to get these youngsters up to international standard?
Well, I must say the youngsters have been doing us well at the under 19 level, at the under 17, under 15, and well, the under 13 would have played yesterday. And I was very proud of their performance. Yes, they did not win the game, but it's always about the effort and what you can see in terms of putting something in place for improvement in going forward. The under 19 team, 2 years consecutive to the national under 19 semifinals last year and this year. They have been doing well. That could only be the case because of the work that went in at the lower level, the under 13, the under 15, and the under 17 level. We are now reaping the reward of that. What we are saying is that we need the same infrastructure and we need to get access to the facilities to be able to groom these youngsters because as you asked, there are a lot of talent out there. Tobago have immense talent. It's just how we harness the talent to get the best out of the youngsters. But we need to get everybody on board in order to do that.
Excellent. And finally, what is the role of the community? We have persons like Joshua James, and how does the community rally around these youngsters to even assist, taking some of the burden off of the Tobago House of Assembly and creating collective responsibility for the growth and development of these athletes?
Well, the community should always play an integral role because these youngsters that you know have potential and these youngsters that you know are our future West Indies players and stuff like that. Keep a close eye on them. They are within you. They are among you. Look at them. Look to see if they are doing anything wrong. Look to see, well, okay, fine. Ask a question. Joshua, what's up with you? Are you looking after your personal interest in terms of, did you go and run this morning? Why are you sitting on the block? Now, I'm not saying Joshua is doing that. I'm just talking openly. Why are you sitting on the block? Why are you not in short park training? Why are you whatever? So, I mean, the people out there that have a keen interest and know what it takes for an athlete to graduate and elevate to that level. It's nothing in asking a question, it's nothing in giving advice. I mean, all of us. And I think I didn't answer one of your questions earlier. When I went to the cricket seminar that the late Prime Minister would have had in Trinidad, the West Indies cricket seminar, Michael Holding used a term at that seminar which said, it takes cash to care. I will repeat that. It takes cash to care. So when you tell us that you care about the sport and you care about the cricket or whatever, just understand that it takes cash to care. So what assistance we can get from whoever the powers might be and whatever, we greatly appreciate it, is the only thing that we can use in order to create development for these youngsters.
Excellent. And I want to thank you so much for your time this morning. But before you go, is there anything that you want to say to reassure Tobagonians as it pertains to Joshua James and just cricket on a whole as it continues to develop on the island?
I would say, as Tobagonians, let's rally around Joshua. Joshua is fine. As I said, I spoke to him. He's in a good space. His remedial work have already been started. They have been taking video footages of his action and stuff to send it to Cricket West Indies so that he would be cleared. So Joshua would be fine. Let's all just be a supportive hub. Let Joshua know that he has the whole of Tobago, because I could tell you that Joshua is the closest thing that we have to make a West Indies team, and I have no doubt that sooner than later that Joshua would be a West Indies player. So let's all rally around Joshua.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much for your time this morning. And again, we are sending our love and support from Tobago Updates over to that youngster, Joshua James, and encouraging him to do the work and keep going. Again, we want to thank you so much, Mr. Kerwin John, for your time this morning and for doing a great job at representing the Tobago Cricket Association. Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back really soon with much more conversation.